For the final time tonight, welcome back to the Trackmania Challenger League. A single match remains, but what a match it is set up to be. Schweineaim Racing will take on the Titans of Week 1, the team that have set the benchmark for other teams to beat. Alternate Attacks, they are looking incredibly scary coming into Week 2, Twiggy.
Yeah, I mean, when we kind of looked at these individual rankings that Magpie made, and we saw one of these stats, it kind of blows your mind a little bit. Pre-identity, Scandir has not made a mistake at all in the first week. Did not make a single. There's no crashes for pre-identity. None. Zero. It's zero.
And just to add on to the insanity of that stat, Scandir did not make a mistake pre-identity, and also then had one of the lowest mistake percentages in the identities as well. Scandir, I don't know what he had for breakfast last week, but it was very, very impressive. I'll also say, I think it's maybe less, it's not that it's not surprising. The identities are very difficult, but also Scandir, well-known RPG player. So if there's someone who's going to know how to put the car through a very weird series of jumps or turns or twists, Scandir's your man, I think, in this league.
That's a good point. You definitely can't, obviously we're talking about like, oh, Scandir hasn't made a single mistake, but then Wosal also has had one of the least mistakes pre-identity as well, so far out of everybody. So we're looking at a team that is just two incredibly strong players. They are definitely our favorites to win this series, but you cannot sniff at Schweineaim either.
No, absolutely not. Two younger players, more up-and-comers, let's put it that way, in the scene than maybe Wosal and Scandir are. Ratchet and Barbos definitely looking to make their name here in this edition of the Trackmania Challenger League, looking to prove that they have what it takes to hang at the top. And I mean, hey, pulling out a win against Alternate Attacks here in Week 2 would definitely be a way to do so. It's going to be difficult. I cannot overstate how good Alternate Attacks looked in Week 1. But maybe you do it with something a little bit spicy. Maybe you secretly practice gyroscope during the week and you pull that out as a map pick near the start. You try and rattle them a little bit. I
mean, honestly, these guys are kind of, if we're setting Scandir up as he hasn't made a mistake pre-identity, these guys kind of are, you know, destined rivals in that also Barbos and Ratchet have made the second least amount of mistakes pre-identity as well. So I don't think we're going to have a lot to talk about until we get to identities with these two teams. But, well, I mean, I think it really is actually going to come down to map picks more than ever on this one. No, gyroscope. Oh, God. Never gyroscope.
It was also, I was saying, maybe Schweineaim try and pull a fast one, try and pull out a map that other teams might be uncomfortable on, and they just immediately ban it away. And there goes my hopes of that at the start. Yeah, I mean, look, it's fair enough. Gyroscope is a very, very hard map.
Aero Pipes second, oh my God.
But there is maybe a little bit of a spicy pick, right? Aero Pipes has not really been favored by any of these teams in general. So to see that picked early, maybe this is that answer by Schweineaim to try and maybe unsettle their opponents early on.
Yeah, it does kind of look that way. We're going to be starting off, obviously, with the red team's map pick. Slowdown is going to be third. I mean, these are two maps so far that they've picked that do require a lot of consistency, that do require a lot of precise driving towards the end, towards that identity, and that does definitely, it suits them, I feel like.
Somebody in chat, make note that is first pick for red team. They will be maps 1, 3, and 5. Blue team are maps 2, 4, and 6. And if we go all the way to map 7, picked randomly, it will be reps rather than flip of fate. Agility Dash and Gyroscope also both taken off the board. We will not be seeing them. And hey, we may not be seeing any of the maps at the back of this match as... This is going to be tough. I'd love to see it. I would love to see Schweineaim take it to them. I have to say, I do definitely respect the Schweineaim players. I think Barbos and Ratchet are both very good players. Ratchet in particular has been kind of playing anything he can get his hands on a lot of the time over the last while. And as a result, has a lot of results and has been playing a lot of Trackmania. And this is a chance for him to show that he can compete at this top level. But over on the other side, Wosal and Scandir, they're just very, very good players.
Yes, sometimes as a commentator, it is difficult not to sound biased. I feel like this is one of those times.
Yeah,
I mean, Alternate Attacks just
week
really
one
haven't.
Was so good.
Unless something changes, Alternate Attacks, I mean, should be winning this, no problem. But you never know. We've seen much weirder things happen today already, so Schweineaim definitely have their chance.
And we will see alternate attacks starting things off on their map pick, starting us off on Parkour. And hey, all right, let's talk strats, Twiggy, okay? I mean, maybe you accept as Schweineaim that alternate attacks are going to be very fast. You compete for the first couple of rounds, and from there on out, you just send your cards into the cone every round. You just send them for that cone.
Much luck as possible. Okay.
Just pile it up. See how high you can stack that luck heading onto your map pick for the second map, heading onto Aero Pipes.
We saw how effective it was when a player landed on top of that cone. Imagine doing that 3 times in a row there. Oh, man.
It was pretty good. On the other hand, maybe Schweineaim could just win. Maybe that would be the strat as well. We said it. These players, in general, we expect to see few mistakes, if any, on our lead up to our identities. These players are fast and they are consistent. There is a small wall tap there, but in general, these identities are going to be so important in this match. As Barboss does have a bit of a lead and is just driving faster. Ratchet is on Scandir's tail and in fact is overtaking Scandir too, and it's an advantage to Schweineaim into the start of this first identity, although Ratchet with a small mistake will now be dropping behind Scandir and WoStyle. WoStyle though off to the side, I believe, has lost a bit of speed. Scandir now trying to chase down Barboss, that was wobbly over that jump, and now Barboss maybe compromised heading towards the final jumps. Ratchet forced to make a respawn. Scandir still on the tail, will not be able to catch Barboss up to the line, but it is still going to be a fight for third place on this one. Ratchet will just about make it, but will be crawling to the finish line as WoStyle landing in front will turn this round into a draw.
Yeah, on alternate attacks map pick, again, red team, first map pick. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? Alternate attacks, we've brought up this consistency thing over and over again, in that they are, it seems like, the most consistent team throughout that one. Uh-oh, Ratchet, bye-bye. The one thing that they are not the top of the leaderboards in so far is speed. So if Schweineaim go all out every single round, it is possible, if you manage to, you know, stay in control of your car, not slam it into a wall like Ratchet did, that you do come out ahead, because alternate attacks, while they are consistent, do not like risking things.
This is true, and I do like that you used a lot of words there, Twiggy, to say if Schweineaim are faster and don't make mistakes, they will win rounds, because that is objectively completely true. And unfortunately for Barboss, he's not listening to the call right now. It was no mistakes. He had the faster part down. He was quickest on track, but a mistake will cost him a lot there. And Scandir with a wall touch on the way up as well is going to be in a little bit of trouble. WoStyle out to the lead at the moment. Scandir, while sitting in second place, but is dropping to third behind Ratchet. And Ratchet will look to climb into this one. Barboss has overtaken, as it's another mistake from Barboss. And you know how much we talked up consistency before this match, Twiggy? Do you remember when we were doing that all the way up until probably about 30 seconds ago?
2 rounds in, he makes his first ever mistake pre-identity. 2 rounds, that's all it took. We are a bad influence on these players.
This is
all
awful.
It took. He played five maps yesterday and didn't make a mistake pre-identity. All it took was 2 rounds on with us casting, and he's done it. He's done it already.
That's tough. That's how it goes sometimes.
We spent
but you know
that
what?
time.
Do you know what? They're still winning, so that's fine. WoStyle picked up the slack and took a first place and got across that line. And so WoStyle and Scandir do lead this map at the moment, but it's not by much. A single point is a fragile lead indeed. Scandir is on the chase. That's a very low jump. We love to see the risk on that one, and it has gained a place back for Scandir. Into third place he goes, and into second place he goes. Scandir very quick through the middle.
Again, Barboss's wheel touches the top of the ice there and manages to slow him down, this time at least not catching on the top and not losing him seconds over seconds, but it's going to come down. The second and third place battle here is massive. Ratchet has more speed, but there's a pole, and he goes back down into last place. Scandir, I think, touches the cone, and Barboss takes first. Where did he come
touch the
from?
Cone? I think he touched snow. Either way, he lost a little bit of speed. He didn't have the speed, and Barboss has a snipe. Comes from behind to take a win in that round.
I guess we'll see if he touched the cone or not, based on his performance in the next few rounds.
That's true.
Right?
Based on the luck that he would get if he had touched that cone. If he crashes it all in this round, then we know that he did not touch the cone.
Yeah, we will find out now. So far, looking like a cone touch, but you never know. Obviously, luck doesn't present itself until the final stages of the map anyway. But so far, WoStyle and Scandir keeping it clean, as we expect, through the first parts of the map. But Schweineaim have been very good at keeping up with them. You know, we set them up to be the underdogs in this series, but I mean, so far, Alternate Attack's not winning by a massive amount, and there have been mistakes on both sides.
And we've seen in previous matches of the day as well, I think it's map 2 for a lot of the teams that they kind of select as their strongest map, as the map when they need a bit of a confidence boost potentially in the middle of that. That's where they set themselves up. But even with that said, this was Alternate Attack's pick, and Schweineaim are taking it to them so far, but this could be a bit of a turnaround. The ace on the card, Scandir holding off Ratchet for the moment. Ratchet though very low. We've seen this line not work out before. It's worked out this time. Woestyle has crashed as well, and Ratchet from 3rd place through the identity climbs into a win. Barbos from nowhere will take 2nd place, and an ace for Schweineaim.
There it is.
For Woestyle.
Cone, but at what cost? At what cost, Nua? They've given away 3 points to get that cone touch. They've put Schweineaim in the lead by 2 points just to get a cone touch. That's risky.
I think
that's risky.
Giving away the ace of your own into an ace for your opponents for the cone touch, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it plays off for them.
Well, yeah, we're going to have to find out now. Woestyle has all of the luck in the world, surely, after that cone touch. We're just going to have to see if it presents itself in enough points and quick enough to get them this series. But Barbos is now on fire after that one. That's got to be a confidence boost. Both Ratchet and Barbos stealing away a victory from both of the Alternate Attacks players there.
Yeah, they've got to feel like maybe they could steal this map from their opponents right now, and that would be a big takeaway to beat Alternate Attacks on their first track selection. Sprout only managed to take a single map from Alternate Attacks in that entire match last week. To do that to them right away, it'll be big. And right now we're on track 4 draw, but this identity, it's going to be the difference maker once again. You can feel it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see how consistent Schweineaim are throughout this. Oh no, both of them! Both of them! Really? There it is. That's the cone effect. That's the cone effect.
It worked.
Scandir.
He's slow. Is he going to be caught?
Home to a 2nd place. Oh my god, that's the cone.
Well,
it's not me. That one wasn't me. That was the cone.
You forgot about the cone,
I am
Twiggy.
simply a spectator. I am just the messenger.
Told you. I passed it off to you there, Twiggy, with this identity is going to be the difference maker. And you forgot about that, you forgot about the cone, and as a result, you looked like a fool. And I don't know what, that's unfortunate.
No, I always look like a fool. That is my whole brand. That's the whole thing. But in the end, the cone equalizes all, and it's put Alternate Attacks on a match point here. All they need to do now is get an ace, finish it off. I say all they need to do. That is quite a high bar to get over to finish things off, but at the very least they have the lead.
Yeah, they have the lead, but for how much longer? Well, at least one round if we manage to hold on with these exact standings all the way to the finish line. That feels a little bit unlikely though. We're on pace for a draw. Schweineaim, 1 point trailing in the match overall. They would put themselves with a draw onto match point. Woestyle with a touch, and now he's going to have to respawn. There's no way you make it through this identity, Woestyle. There's no way he makes it through this identity.
No way he makes the jumps.
Might look at that battle up front though. Scandir has managed to overtake Barbos on the way to the line at the moment. Barbos comes roaring back faster through that next jump. He will land first, it looks like as well. Scandir a long way back. Barbos cross the line. The ace. There it is for Ratchet as he overtakes Scandir on that final stretch of track. And Schweineaim move to 9.
The cone giveth and the cone taketh away. Schweineaim get an ace straight back, and now both teams, while on track point, Schweineaim only need to get a player in the top 2 to finish things off. Alternate Attacks need this ace not just to win the map, but to stop Schweineaim from winning in 1 round.
I love it now. 9-7 scoreline. It's spicy. It is very spicy because, you know, you need one team to all out risk in order to get their cars into 1-2. And if they do it, very cool. We've seen it once already tonight. One of the teams earlier managing to pull that off against their opponents. It's going to be harder now for Scandir to catch back up, and hey, maybe this ace is possible, but it's going to rely on Schweineaim both making mistakes in the identity.
Alternate Attacks just don't seem to be the infallible beasts that we saw them as last Playday. Woestyle keeping up, Ratchet almost with a touch to the wall there, keeps it tight, but manages to get through there. Woestyle, I mean, it doesn't matter how well you do as long as Scandir doesn't catch back up, but here he comes. He's managed to make his way into 3rd place. Can he get his way all the way here? Not if Barbos doesn't make a mistake, and Barbos cruises over that final jump, will manage to take the map away for his team. It was a close affair, but by 3.5 tenths, Schweineaim managed to take the map, and it was Alternate Attacks map pick as well. This is not the same team we saw last Playday.
Barbos has ice in his veins there. He needed to hold on through that identity. And while it wasn't the cleanest identity we've seen all day on parkour, while it wasn't the fastest we've seen it done, it was fast enough and it was clean enough. And that's all that mattered. And Schweineaim managed to take away map 1. And now we go onto their map pick. The map that we said was maybe a little bit of a surprise to their opponents. Aero Pipes has not been a favorite pick really for any of these teams so far. And Schweineaim, they now have alternate attacks at a bit of a disadvantage as we head onto it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Aero Pipes has been a map that players have been scared of. Generally, they leave it to the random pick. We saw it as the random pick last time we saw it here. We haven't seen it as a first pick, not whatsoever. And although first picks generally don't tend to be as strong as second picks, that's still a bold choice.
Yeah. And I'm excited for it. I do love it. I love seeing a little bit of strategy come through in the pick ban phase. And for Schweineaim to then win that first map, I'd say they're probably a little bit surprised by that themselves. That was maybe not what they expected to do. With that said, I think every player goes into every match believing they can win every map if they need to. The full slide out, and there goes Scandir as well. And lack of practice on Aero Pipes, question mark?
Whatever's happened, alternate attacks, they are... I can't believe we went into this series going alternate attacks. One of them has never made a mistake pre-identity. The other one is second place and not making a mistake pre-identity. And in the first 2 maps, we've seen maybe more than... We're well into the double digits at this point. We must be. And Rakshad and Barbos are cruising home on this first round now to a victory. All they need to do is get across these pipes cleanly. Easier said than done. I'm sure everybody would agree. But so far, the gap is big enough that I don't think it's going to be a problem for them. Rakshad and Barbos both clean all the way to the very end. 2 brilliant times from those 2 players, and all it took was 2 mistakes from the alternate attacks players to give away an ace to Schweineaim Racing on their map pick.
Yeah, 110s for both players as well. Those are strong times. And with that said, you know, I think they were safing, not a huge amount, but, you know, they were clean onto those pipes, lining up their jumps properly and making sure neither of them fell off on the way through. And they luckily did not fall off plus L plus ratio on the the Yeah, we knew where it was going.
That was great. We were like in sync.
Good synergy,
Oh my
Twiggy.
god, we're so in sync.
Never use that again.
Why not? What?
I didn't love that. I didn't love that, if I'm being totally honest with you.
Okay. Sure, fine, okay, yeah. You just that's fine. I'll just do my own thing. Sure. It's cool. It's cool.
Well, do you know what? Schweineaim are doing their own thing right now.
Whatsoever.
And Schweineaim's thing is, you'll notice I'm ignoring you. Schweineaim's thing is winning right now. Although, with that said, they are currently in 3rd and 4th place.
Freestyle
will not make it through the ice a second time in a row. And I was half joking when I said maybe lack of prep for this map from alternate attacks. What? That's twice in the same place from Wosile.
That's the thing about a strategic pick here. Nobody's really been picking this map, so why would you practice it? It's going to be 50% chance probably that you get this map at the end of a series. Why would you practice it over your map picks? So
yeah, well, Scandir
exactly.
is a lot cleaner right now, as we said. And Barbos with a full crash as well should still be in front of Wosile, but it may not be by an awful lot as we head towards the back half of this map and into the identity we go. Scandir with the lead needs to hold on to it, cannot afford to drop another ace here, and that is what is in the cards with a mistake from Scandir. Clean through the first 2 jumps, 1 more jump to go, and he will stay clean. 111 and 8,000ths of a second. Ratchet across the line for 2nd place. Barbos nearly caught his teammate, didn't quite, but will take 3rd, and with a draw, the lead stays at 3.
Oh man, Wosile not having a fun time on that ice there. 2 slides in the exact same position. It seems like he goes for a much more inside line there, and it seems to bite him quite a lot of the time.
The gear just caught him twice.
Yeah, the gear caught him twice in a row at the exact same location on that one. And he takes a much more inside line than the other players, and it seems like that is the difference maker there.
The most evil thing I've ever seen has been put in chat, which is that they should have made the final pipe ice.
Oh my god, no. No.
Mods, can we time this person out? That's a war crime.
Okay, that's the chaotic evil. Here's the chaotic good. Plastic final pipe. Just
wet plastic.
Wet plastic sounds perfect.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what I mean. Identities just for the next Trackmania season.
Nobody even tries to go over it with their wheels. They just slam into it at full speed and see where they go. Like that's just that's chaotic good right there. Oh man. can't believe nobody is.
No, we're not going to speak this evil into existence because we're going to watch this identity. And this time, no mistakes from anyone coming into it. It is a lead from both players from alternate attacks. They hold the 1 and 2 position, but Barbos is chasing its wheel-to-wheel action between him and Wostyle at the moment. And a crash from Scandir. Wostyle will go through. Barbos gets a slowdown. Ratchet has a bit of a slowdown, I think, behind as well. It's a bit of an awkward landing from Barbos in the middle of that pipe section. Will still cross the lane. Second place. Ratchet a long way back. Scandir has crossed in third. There was a chance to turn that one into a draw for Schweineaim, but it will be a loss.
I mean, yes, Scandir may have been distracted by the pretty lights surrounding the pipes, but Ratchet also just didn't go for the pipe. He took my advice and just didn't go for the pipe, just went as far as he could without touching the pipe, which is fair enough. You might as well try it, but alternate attacks do take the round there with a 2-1 point gap. So now catching slightly back up to Schweineaim, and Wosal got through that round a lot better. We didn't see the same mistake on the ice there.
Good to see him. We'll see. Does it come through this time around? I can't see him, but he seems to have gotten through cleanly.
There he is.
So, yeah, there he comes, popping into view, and in fact, faster than Barbos, so the Barbos has a better lineup for that next turn then. And it's nice to see everyone getting through these rounds cleanly up until the identity, because that just means more drama for us to feed on.
Absolutely. Oh, but no, never mind. Barbos decides that a left or a right turn there is definitely in order, slamming into the wall for almost no reason whatsoever. Wostyle stays out ahead with his teammate Ratchet. Not his teammate, I meant his teammate as in Barbos, because I talked about Barbos earlier. It's not a mistake from me. I'm just doing a callback. Ratchet stays out ahead for the time being, but it is a matter of hundredths that separate these players. It's all going to come down to how clean you are on the pipes. Wostyle has a little more speed, but he can't quite get on all 4 wheels in time and has to turn all the way. That loses him time, and it loses him position. A nice way to get onto that pipe. But alternate attacks managed to, at the very least, make it a draw and stay within a stone's throw now of Schweineaim.
Yep, holding on here, still within striking distance, and an ace would put them back in front. A win for alternate attacks would draw them back within 1, and I think importantly as well there, not giving up the round win is not just that you drop another point behind, but it would have been Schweineaim within match winning distance as well. 7 points is that magic number where you have to really start to get nervous and start to think maybe we need to find an ace of our own. Alternate attacks holding on for a draw, that may have been important.
Guys, come on, let's focus on the esports and not the fact that Ratchet is basically a model. I know every time we spectate him, you're looking down at the image at the bottom. Look at the cars. Look at the cars. I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult to keep that going. I'm having trouble too. Believe me, I'm having trouble too. But we just got to pay attention to the esports here. We just got to pay attention. Scandir stays right close there to Barbos, but Barbos again almost makes a mistake on the exit of that turn, staying, however, in second place.
Yeah, good guy Ratchet taking himself 7 seconds back from everyone else on this one so we don't jump on board with him, so we don't get distracted in what is a very tight race up at the front for this round. Barbos and Scandir are still close. I mean, it's Barbos pulling out a bit of a lead, but again, identity. It exists. It comes no matter what you want. It will show up and potentially ruin your day. It is not ruined. It'll ruin Barbos' day. It has ruined Barbos' day. I confirm that is Barbos' day. Ruined as Scandir and Wostyle both overtake at the finish line for an ace for alternate attacks, and Ratchet will cruise home in 4th place.
At the very least, good guy Ratchet for staying 6 seconds behind everybody else.
Far enough behind that we got to see him at the end.
We can see his face for 5 seconds at the end of the map. It's perfect.
He's got a great photographer as well. I mean, honestly, I need to talk to someone about, like, you know, getting.
The lighting is on point too.
It's flawless.
I don't know, man. It's We just stay on Ratchet for just a little bit longer.
Well, look, he's winning, and I'd like to see what. Well, no, there you go. Good guy, Ratchet, dropping behind so he can stay hanging on the car for a little bit longer.
Cars,
Okay.
Vroom. Okay.
The cars are vrooming. Someone crashes. Was that Wostyle on the inside? I think it was.
Where did alternate attacks go? They've disappeared.
Wostyle and Scandir have both vanished off our screens. They've gone one way back.
They were both paying too much attention to Ratchet's face as well.
Ice turns are difficult sometimes, is the moral of the story here. In Schweineaim, they are on their way to an ace, barring any catastrophe on the pipes at the end of this track. But hey, that's what the pipes are built for, to draw in the catastrophe, to provide the drama at the end. Barbos and Ratchet, I mean, they wouldn't want to do it here. It'd be too painful to lose the ace from this position.
Yeah, I think it should be a pretty simple way to come home. I think even if you get a slowdown on that pipe, barring that you're not going to make a massive mistake, you should be staying out ahead on this one. And it looks like they are cruising this one. Barbos once again, that's the one. I said if you get a slowdown, it might not be a bad thing, but Ratchet goes fully over the pipe, gives away both of those places to alternate attacks, and alternate attacks somehow stay in the lead.
Oh, that's catastrophe. That's what it is right there. That's what it looks like, in case anyone was wondering. Ratchet falling off the pipe. In fact, he didn't fall off. He missed it completely in the first place. And as a result, alternate attacks, a win in the round, will now win this map. But Schweineaim Racing picking up that single point and staying with it, a single point of alternate attacks, could pick up an ace for themselves and could still win this map. And it would be in dramatic fashion to move themselves 2 maps up in this match.
Oh man, it always just seems to come down to that one. Skander and Wosal both make a mistake that costs them 6 seconds early in the round, and yet they manage to just take it back off of the back of... Here's the thing, you get onto the pipe, you get a slowdown, you're that far ahead, you don't mind, but you just have to hit that one. Ratchet, oof, gets a slowdown off the corner. It's not the biggest mistake we've seen, but it is going to put him down into last place. We've seen that be equalized over and over again here, but Skander and Wosal are both up ahead, and all they need to do is finish this one off cleanly. Oh, maybe not anymore.
Yep, that is Ratchet very, very close behind Wosal now, as he was only a second behind the leader still. Skander does hang on to his first place for the time being, but it is very much for the time being as we enter this identity again, and Skander gets the slowdown. Barros slides in first place. Skander is still in second place. He's still ahead of the rest of the pack. Barros will cleanly take first. Skander will not take second. Where's Wosal? Where's Skander? They're gone. They have vanished. Schweineaim win the map with an ace.
My 4,000th of a second. Oh my god. There's Ratchet. He had to do it to him. He just had to do it to him. You cannot get a closer finish than that. Alternate attacks on the brink of bringing it, oh my god, to one more. And Ratchet comes out of nowhere to win by 0.4 of a second that second place. It all just comes down to whether or not you get a slowdown on that last pipe there.
My jaw is on the floor. I cannot believe that is how that map ended. The
difference that has made to this series is unbelievable.
Yep, and Schweineaim now with 2 map wins off aces on the last round.
Yep. Well,
sure.
Hey, you know what? We said they had to bring out their A game versus alternate attacks. I feel like they've done that and more so far.
This is their S game. They've transcended A rank, and they are well into the S rank at this point. They need to keep it going, though, right? I mean, it's a long
match.
match.
A platformer, that makes sense.
It's basically a bullet hell. I've always said this, right? Those walls, they come at you fast.
You called it a rhythm game to me earlier as well, which technically, I mean, if you get the rhythm of every one of your inputs perfectly correct, it is deterministic. You will... Yeah. It is technically a rhythm.
I am objectively correct.
You get a full combo on Trackmania, you get the same result.
All you gotta
do
is find the right song. And dude, I do remember Virtual playing his blindfolded challenge and singing some Bohemian Rhapsody to try and get his way around one of the turns, right? It works, that's all I'm saying. Do you know what's not working right now? Is I think Ratchet's steering. He turned into that sign a little bit.
Nah, it's okay. My car does that as well. My car does that too, all the time. You know, honestly, it's so surprising that we've actually seen it this far into the series and not earlier on today, because honestly, I don't know, there's something wrong with my car, but either way, it's a pretty simple finish for alternate attacks to get an ace there. They hold hands 500ths between them as they finish up that map, and I mean, you can see that this is their map pick, I think.
It does feel like it's been a hot second since we got around that was 2 players holding hands into first and second place. And that was very much cat sitting around a campfire comfortably with its friends, if I've ever seen it. Within a tenth of each other. I got it wrong. I was so close.
No. I was looking at chat. They've added an emote which is streaming, and it has the Shure SM7Bs on it. It's actually us. No.
Oh no.
Oh
we've been called out. Oh, it's not our fault. They're just good microphones, chat. You don't understand.
You don't understand. We need hi-fi quality audio. Come on, man. Come on.
No, let's focus on the match, mate. They can't bully us if we're focusing on the match. And alternate attacks
Don't look at chat.
Did ace in the last round, and with a mistake from Barbos and from Skander in this round, there is very much 2 distinct groups of drivers on track at the moment. Skander's mistake less punishing from Barbos's, though. We could be on pace for a draw unless Wosal can make an overtake happen as we head towards our identity. Wosal versus Ratchet. Ratchet with the lead, with the advantage into the first hill. Second hill comes up. Ratchet retains that advantage. Final hill, and Wosal will not be able to catch from here. Ratchet holds on for a first place finish, and Skander will cruise to a clean third.
So far, these identities have been smooth and clean from all of these players. It's all down to what position you enter them in so far. And so far, alternate attacks coming out just about ahead. Ratchet manages to make it a draw with some very clean driving all throughout that round, but it still keeps them 3 points shy of alternate attacks.
Still 3 points shy, and hey, the draws are fine, but as you say, when you have given up even a single ace, being 3 points down, those draws do stop cutting it very, very quickly.
Yeah, and needing to make up that gap now, they're going to have to bring out some cleaner, well, not even cleaner, just faster driving up at the start of the map. Maybe take some more risks through this one. It looks good from them so far. Barbos and Ratchet staying out ahead for the first time we've seen in this map so far. But Wosal is keeping up with that one again. It doesn't matter if you don't make a mistake. It is all down to the fastest drivers at the start here. I mean, that's the whole game's down to the fastest drivers, but as we move into the identity, no longer is it about driving fast, it is about driving smoothly over these hills. No mistakes. Once again, Barbos and Ratchet cruise to first and second, Wosal right behind them, but there was no mistake and he couldn't catch up.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit more track there, and Wosal had the speed over Barbos, but the finish line, it's right there. It is right there, and Barbos got it across it first, and ace back the other direction. Schweineaim tie things up. And I mean, wow, what a performance from them so far tonight. Like, genuinely, unironically, that is all I have to say. They, anytime it has started to look rough for them, have bounced straight back.
Yeah, it's been incredible. Obviously, alternate attacks, we mentioned it on the first map, not exactly as clean as they have been last Playday, but at the same time, you know, they gave Schweineaim an inch. Schweineaim took a mile, and they've absolutely been playing.
Last Playday, Twiggy, it was yesterday, I think you said earlier.
I did say that, but you know, time doesn't. Time is a construct. Time is a social construct, so that you can't.
I bided my time, and I caught you out with it eventually.
Nice. Thank you very much for bringing up the thing that I said completely subconsciously earlier on in the broadcast. Very good from. Oh, there it is. There's the identity mistake we've been waiting for. It took so many rounds to get done, but there we go, and it does give Skandir that second place in this one. Ratchet manages to finish that one up in third, and Schweineaim take the lead just about, but still.
Yeah, I mean, a win for Schweineaim Racing. A big mistake from Wosal costs the team a lead in the match, and Schweineaim, hey, it doesn't seem to matter to them whether they're ahead or behind. They have won both maps so far anyway, from 7 points, overtaking their opponents with a final ace, but it would sure feel more comfortable to do it from ahead. This is, of course, one of Alternate's picks, and we said that kind of the second map so far tonight has tended to feel like the map where the team that picked it was cleaner. And alternate attacks, they may not be very clean, but they are certainly cleaner than their opponents in this round so far. I got there.
Nicely done. Ratchet makes an early mistake, and Barbos crashes directly into the reactor booster there, and unfortunately that does put them at quite a disadvantage moving on this one. We've seen how clean everybody has been so far into the identity here, so barring any... Yeah, well, I mean, no, he's still been clean overall. He made one mistake. Calm down. What a Mr. Perfectionist over here. Oh, but Ratchet, a little bump. It doesn't really matter. I don't think he was catching up to Wosal and Skandir either way, but still, it's not clean across the line. Barbos trails by 15 seconds. He's just going to show us how it's done here at the end.
Hey guys, alternate attacks moved to 8 with that one. That's look, it's beautiful. It's tick tack tick, and he doesn't make it to the line in time. It's an ace for alternate attacks. They moved to 8 points. A dangerous lead for them, based on how our previous maps have gone so far. I predict Schweineaim to draw this round and then ace the next one.
Wow. Okay. Well, there we go. We've got the prediction in. Anybody in chat, throw in your predictions right now, or forever hold your peace. Otherwise, I'm gonna put you were cheating, and you're ahead of you're ahead of when he made his. So you need to do it right now. Otherwise, it's not okay. So alternate attacks trying to keep up here with Ratchet and Barbos, but Ratchet and Barbos do have that lead. This is scary territory for alternate attacks. They have, and I don't use this word lightly, choked a couple of rounds already in the past maps so far this series. We pray that that does not happen again for their sake.
Oh, Ratchet and Barbos, they have to lead. There's Ratchet with a touch, and we are now on pace for that draw. But Barbos with a mistake through that first hill. He's forced to go through the trees, and it will not work. It's Skandir and Wosal under pressure, clean through the identity, picking up the ace and picking up their first map of the match.
Man, alternate attacks finally keep Schweineaim at bay for just long enough to take a map in the series. Maybe that is it for them. Maybe that is the momentum shift that they needed. But Schweineaim still kept it close on what we expected to be alternate attacks' best map pick there.
Yeah, and we are now heading into the second map pick for Schweineaim Racing. Look, I mean, alternate attacks didn't look as comfortable there on the second map, and that is not a hard and fast rule. This is a trend that we've kind of noticed from a lot of our teams, is they go for comfort on their second map pick, kind of middle of the match, rather than, you know, risking a position where your most comfortable map is map 6, and you just don't get there because you lost on the first 4 maps or something, rather than having it as your first map where, you know, you may still be warming up. Your second map pick, that seems to be a decent place to stick with comfort, and if that is the case, then back and forth is comfort for Schweineaim Racing. This is their second pick of the match, and with a pickup on this one, they would move to match point. Alternate attacks would have to win 3 maps in a row from that point to win this.
Yeah, so far Schweineaim have been kind of on fire throughout this series. All they need to do on their own map pick now is keep up that pace, keep up the pressure they've been putting on alternate attacks. I think that's a slide out there from NuaLaoch, and he will head down into last place, losing a lot of time, I think bumping into the wall as well.
Yeah, will have lost a bit of time, but it's not the most punishing mistake in the world. Should be well within a second. That's a much more punishing mistake for Barbos. Will now be behind NuaLaoch, will now be behind Ratchet and Scandir as well. Ratchet has pace. Look at that speed advantage he has over Scandir. Heading into these turns, off the grass they go. This is the turnaround. You can make or gain a lot on the turnaround, and Scandir, he has certainly made some time up on that turnaround, overtaking Ratchet, who's taking a much wider line as well. Scandir has that line up. He has the speed. He looks to a first place on lock. Barring any finish incidents from Scandir, none to be found. Ratchet will cross in second place, and NuaLaoch will cross a long way ahead of Barbos. His mistake, much more costly.
Yeah, slammed directly into the wall of ice there. Really no getting back from that one, and especially where that checkpoint is placed makes it very difficult to make back up that time. So 10 seconds is the amount that you lose there. And yeah, I mean, there was no coming back from that one. That is... there are a lot of times, I don't think I've really used the word unfortunate a lot here, but that really looked unfortunate.
Yeah, very rare that we see someone slide out on that kind of water turn at all, and we'll see if it happens again this time around. I'd be surprised, right? It's not a particularly commonplace for mistakes to happen on this map, and unusual to see that one happen to us on the last round. But with that, NuaLaoch is still in 4th place at the moment. Barbos will make it cleanly onto the ice wall this time around, and as Ratchet just behind them, but they are chasing Scandir, and they have better exits than Scandir through that turn, or than Barbos, I should say. Scandir with the best exit, but Barbos with a wider line through the grass comes out ahead.
Yeah, it's all going to come down once again. Oh my god, a matter of hundredths going into the identity. Barbos takes a wider line, loses a bit of speed on that first turn. They're both just struggling now to keep up with Scandir, but Scandir is keeping it clean. He's getting away all the way around these turns, barring a triangle error here. It's clean. It's really clean from Scandir, and he forces a draw.
This is really, really impressive stuff from Scandir so far on the backward section, on the identity of this map. He just seems to have the turnaround nailed on, and he has the identity itself nailed on as well. The lines are better, and he is gaining up those crucial tenths both rounds that we've had so far.
It seems like Schweineaim's map pick has played right into Scandir's hands, because he is really not making many mistakes so far whatsoever. In fact, he hasn't made a mistake whatsoever so far, and has kept that speed all the way through from the regular part of the map to the identity. So, well, that's the thing. If you pick a map into just one player that knows how to play it well, you're not going to get any points up on that team.
Yep. Scandir out to a lead again, so close to that wall on the turnaround, but he does not touch it, and not touching it holds on to that lead. This time around, NuaLaoch is still within range. It's Ratchet who's made a mistake this time around. If NuaLaoch can hold on for this one, this would be alternate attacks moving a little bit further in front on the points. Even if it's not an ace, the win would be big. Barbos on track to deny route though. He is there with the pace, and it's NuaLaoch with a bit of a crash. He should be fine, should still make the finish line. It's so close to the finish line. Scandir with 4 thousandths of an advantage over Barbos will take a round win for alternate attacks.
Have you seen that picture of the little guy with the sword and the massive behemoth dude towering over him? Scandir is that guy. You ain't going anywhere.
Are you talking about the teddy bear picture?
No,
I do know the picture you're talking about. I do.
It's like an Elden Ring kind of looking picture, but I don't think it is an Elden Ring picture. You know what I'm talking about. Scandir is is the behemoth. He's just like gatekeeping this whole map.
It's true. I called them Titans of week 1 because the performance they put on then was heads and shoulders kind of above the rest of the competition. And Scandir is showing signs of that here. It took until map 4 for him to really, it looks like, wake up and take over. But he has yet to lose a round on this. Yeah. We are on round 4. He has won the first 3 rounds on back and forth.
This is the Scandir that we were looking forward to seeing this series, and it's taken him a while to, I don't know, maybe wake up, maybe just get on a map that he feels more comfortable on and warm up into it, but he has not made a single mistake whatsoever. Scandir is insanely clean. They're doing pretty much the same time every round, a 58.5 or 6 every single round.
That car is on rails right now. Scandir just cruising home to another 58.5. WOSAL another 3rd place. And that means alternate attacks move to 7 points. They are now within range for an ace. If WOSAL can step up, because Scandir has stepped up big time on this map so far. This time around, not out to an immediate lead, but still there in contention for first place. Schweineaim, on the other hand, they are behind, but another ace, an ace of their own, would bring them right back to 7 points, would bring them back within contention.
Yeah, at the very least, while Scandir has been very comfortable on this map, WOSAL has been, you know, on the same kind of ground as Schweineaim, struggling to kind of, well, not struggling to keep up with Scandir at the very least, but staying with the rest of the pack. So Schweineaim have managed to keep it close at the very least. It is their map pick as a team. It looks like while Scandir is very comfortable on this one, WOSAL not quite as much as his teammate, but this time staying with the rest of the pack. It may be Schweineaim's first round win on this one. They may just manage to get an ace, unless WOSAL can catch up, unless there's a mistake. They cross the line hand in hand, 14 thousandths between the two players, and level it up.
The drama. This is what you watch Trackmania Esports for. Schweineaim, it was alternate attacks, consistent. Scandir with firsts, WOSAL just sitting there. They built their lead, it's up to 3 points, and in a single ace, Schweineaim wipe that lead away. And an ace for either team now would decide this map in their favor. This is what it all comes down to.
Yeah. Staying flawless through the start of the map. Every player now just keeping together for their lives at this point. Barbos has fallen back by just a few tenths, it looks like. But Scandir again, flawless so far throughout the map, and just brilliant. Like the guy has a line and he's sticking to it, because he is always well ahead of everybody else coming into the identity here. Scandir, it's a little less speed than Rakshit, but at the same time, that's going to make it... Oh, no! It's a lot less speed now than Rakshit. Rakshit overtakes. Rakshit goes forward, and it looks like... Oh, no, never mind. That's WOSAL. I thought that was Barbos. You never... Oh, but there's Barbos! There's Barbos!
Oh, my heart. Oh, there came Barbos.
24 thousandths between all of the bottom 3 players there.
That was close. It was close, as Ratchet did win the round, and that means a draw. And either team with a win now takes this map. It would be such a decisive moment in this map. Either way, this is either Schweineaim going to match point, or it is alternate attacks winning 2 maps in a row to bring us back level. This is Schweineaim Racing's pick as well, map 4 of the match. They would want to take the win here, but it is WOSAL out to a lead. Scandir in 3rd place. This is the formation alternate attacks need to pick up the win, and it's Scandir quicker through the turnaround.
So far, it is Scandir that has paved the way to victory on this map for alternate attacks, but now WOSAL is the one out in front, and they are in a 1-2 formation heading into the identity. All they need to do is keep that lead. They finish things off in one fell swoop. Even if one of them falls behind, it doesn't matter, as long as they finish 3rd, and they're clean through these first turns. But there's WOSAL with a mistake. It allows Rakshit up. Does it allow Barbos up as well? It looks like it may be. No! Alternate attacks win the round. It's a 2-1. 1st and 3rd, and they just about take that map.
Oh, Barbos just a little bit too far adrift, not able to catch up in time. Alternate attacks bring us to a tied match just in time for them to go back to their 3rd and final map pick of the match as well. Twiggy, I love Trackmania Esports.
I love Trackmania Esports. I need a spam of that right now. I need it. But Scandir, that is exactly what we were waiting to see from that man. Dude was almost flawless. There was one round where he wasn't in the top 2 there.
That was genuinely incredible from Scandir, and we were praising Schweineaim for really bringing it to alternate attacks. And the question is, now that the Juggernaut has woken up, now that Scandir is on pace and on fire, do Schweineaim have what it takes to shut it back down, to quench the fire that has been started?
Yeah, the question now is whether, I mean, it was just a matter of time for him to wake up like that, or whether it was back and forth specifically. If it was back and forth specifically, things are still looking okay for Schweineaim Racing, but you never know. It could just be that it took him a few maps to get back to his form of last Playday. Can he keep that pace and that consistency up in freestyle?
I think the consistency really was the key one there, as it so often is in any kind of rounds format in Trackmania. Pace is nice, but holding a world record does not mean that you are going to be a Trackmania Grand League or Challenger League champion. That all comes down to just managing to get as close to that pace as possible round on round. You could see there, by the way, very interesting through that round checkpoint as I paused for a second. Different lines for both teams. Obviously, different practices for both of them as well.
And, I mean, flight.
We've also seen that kind of two different lines that happen for different teams through that. Some teams choose to go high and long. Some teams choose to go for the landing early and try and pick up speed on the downhill. Not a huge difference either way. The difference maker there will be Wosal touching the wall, but Scandir and Barbos, it's going to be so close to the finish line. Scandir, his wheel catches, but he still finds the way through a little bit quicker. Barbos crosses in second, Ratchet in third, and it's a round draw with Wosal in fourth.
I mean, we weren't expecting to, we were probably expecting to still be here for this map, but at the very least, we weren't expecting it to be 2-2 in the series. At this point, we were probably expecting something like 3-1 at this point towards alternate attacks. Schweineaim have done such a good job of just keeping down alternate attacks and making sure they don't get too ahead of themselves. And it is just being consistent enough to take a couple points every round away from them that has kept them in this game so far.
It has been impressive from Schweineaim. We keep saying it because it keeps being true. Those Barbos and Ratchet
when you set a team up as an underdog as much as we do, we kind of have to, go back on our words very heavily.
Yeah, look at, again, I just love, you could see there with all four cars so close together as well, like how obvious the different setups are. And once again, here you go. It's Wosal and it is Scandir going low on the jump, and it's Barbos and Ratchet going high on the jump. These teams have very different prep, and on that middle section, on the ring, it favored alternate. At the end, it has favored Ratchet and Barbos, but on the identity, Barbos has clipped, and so has Wosal, and Ratchet has the lead. Scandir will just about make it across the finish line as well. Barbos is a long way back now. Wosal is further back yet, I believe. Yeah. He is, in fact. Barbos he's fine. He will not fall off. He will pick up a third place as Wosal is still riding the struggle bus back here on the second jump. Will not make it to the line in time, timing out instead. Schweineaim pick up a round win.
Yeah, freestyle isn't really one of the maps where we look at the identity and go, wow, that's the one that everyone fails at, It's not one of the ones that we think of as that. It's a relatively, it's not like an easy identity by any stretch, but
it's a little bit more forgiving.
People don't generally make mistakes on it. It's very much like Flip, where, obviously the more risky you go, the more likely it is that you're going to miss out on it. But there's a lot of kind of routes that you want to take on that one. If you go high and long, then it's easier, but you lose a little bit more time. So it is interesting that we're seeing so many mistakes. It shows that these players are being pushed and pushed to go lower and lower and try and gain more time towards the end.
Once again, we'll look here. Alternate attacks, I said, their line, it gives them a better exit here through the ring. That has held true again for Wosal, and we can't compare Scandir. One less data point because Scandir is 7 seconds behind at the moment. This time around, everyone goes a little bit longer through that jump. Wosal holds onto his lead ahead of Ratchet and Barbos, but I think he's lost. He's got a clip on his wheel as he hit that hole in the middle of the track, and we are now on track for an ace for Schweineaim to move up to 6 points in this, barring a catastrophe. No catastrophes to be had. They are cleanly through. Ratchet and Barbos hold hands to that finish line, crossing within 1600s. So 1600s.
Yeah, insanely clean from both of them. And I mean, that last turn from Ratchet and Barbos, it's just a regular turn, but the amount of speed you can gain from that by taking a slightly wider line and risking bumping that outside wall is insane. You saw Ratchet go from third to first out of absolutely nowhere. And just when you have more speed going into those wall climbs, it's easier to get a nicer line as well.
It has been nice indeed. An alternate attacks, despite having a line that, again, I'll say it and I'll keep saying it, I really like that line they have through the ring checkpoint in the middle of the map. It's not being quick enough for them at the end. The identity especially has proven to be a problem for them. And that has Schweineaim moving all the way up into this commanding lead that they have. 6-2, outside range of an ace, even tying it for alternate attacks at the moment. Here is Wosal and Skandir on a charge this time around. They are much, much closer. No mistakes early on. Wosal and Skandir again, low through, looking for good exits through it, but Ratchet and Barbos much further on the outside. And there is the speed showing a little bit for Skandir, but he loses it on the exit as he loses his reactor boost. Barbos and Ratchet are there, and this is going to come down to an identity, Twiggy.
Alternate attacks being forced to play it quite risky with a lot of those turns there. Schweineaim Racing, you can see that they're a little more calm coming into the identity. Everyone makes that first one, but Ratchet does clip a wheel. Barbos struggling now to stay up with Wosal, trying to contend for that first place. Getting that would mean a lot, but he goes a little wider, and Wosal comes through. Skandir almost snipes that position, but it's just about a victory for alternate attacks, but they need more than a 2-1 victory there.
Yeah, Barbos, you saw the recovery strat there on the last jump as well. Went for the 360 coming off the wall to make sure that he was not going to end up too low, and still managed to hold on to his second place. Very impressive from Barbos to make that decision in the moment and execute.
Oh man, alternate attacks still with a 3-point deficit over Schweineaim Racing. They need to make something more happen than just that first and third victory that you can get. Barbos and Ratchet are making it so difficult for them to stay in contention here. Schweineaim doing such a great job on this map. They just need to stay ahead now. They take such a different line going into that quarter pipe jump. It does give them, it gives them less speed going into it, but I feel like they're safing a lot more than alternate attacks are.
I think just that little bit more, but it's been working out for them, and with a lead of 3 points, they can afford that unless they give up an ace right here, because an ace would bring alternate attacks right back into this map. It's on Barbos, it looks like, to disrupt it right now, and he'll overtake Wosal with a mistake. Ratchet has overtaken Wosal as well, and it is Barbos and Ratchet chasing down Skandir in the final jump, and Skandir, too high on the entry, clips that sign, falls off, and it is very much an L as Schweineaim with the ace wrap this map up.
I mean, look, you gotta put it. Look, Skandir, he doesn't have his slicks on. I feel like he may put the mediums on. A little bit less grip. You need a lot of grip to climb a billboard. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's just really unfortunate. Right when he needed to be able to take that point away from the team.
Right when he needed it and couldn't get it. It was the pressure just not quite there. Look, that was one of Schweineaim's map picks. No, that's not true. That was Alternate's pick.
Yes, it was.
That was Alternate's pick. And so any kind of reasoning I had ready to give Skandir the benefit of the doubt, you know, maybe he wasn't as ready for that identity. It's not there.
It's all gone in the bin.
Just kind of fell off a little bit on that last identity, and it is unfortunate for Alternate that now they have to win on Slippy Slides. Their opponent's pick, the map that we have said, and that has proven true an awful lot of the time tonight, that really does tend to favor the team that picks it more so than any else. I don't believe we've seen a team drop after picking this map themselves.
No, not so far. It's really been the ones that we've seen the biggest deficits in rounds. When it comes to whether you picked it or whether you didn't pick it, even though it's not the second map picked, it doesn't seem like there are teams that really feel incredibly comfortable on it, but at the same time, it's more about the team that didn't pick it feel uncomfortable on it.
Yeah, chat has asked for a pig fact, and so I will say that pigs probably better at finding truffles than dogs, but we use truffle hunting dogs because it's too hard to stop pigs from eating the truffles when they find them. There is your pig fun fact.
That's such a good fact. Oh my god, this man is a fountain of knowledge. Why? I don't know what kind of zoology kind of institutions there are. Hire this man as your main zoologist. I didn't know that. I didn't know that pigs just ate truffles. I thought I thought that I didn't even know that dogs were used to find truffles.
Yeah, there you go. They sniff them out, and it's great.
That's amazing. Hello, Ratchet.
That was a really close round. Hang on. Ratchet snipes that one away. Skandir in second place. Yeah, sorry, we got distracted by truffles. I mean, it's turning into a very bougie cast all of a sudden. But it is a draw, and so the match will progress forward by a single point for each team. Ratchet and Barbos looking to close this match out here on map 6 on their final selection to prevent us from going to a map 7 decider. And Alternate Attacks definitely came in as our favorites at the very least, and I think for most people really the favorites after their week 1 performance. They have shown up at times on different maps. Scandir especially has put up a huge performance on Back and Forth, but they still stand at the precipice of this match loss.
Yeah, Schweineaim have done such a good job just getting to this point against a team that looked almost flawless in the first Playday. Now, it is just about crossing that line. They have got to the finish line first, and it is their map pick. They should be ahead on this one. They should be taking this map pick away, but Alternate Attacks are going to put on the afterburners to try and steal this one away from them. You saw what Scandir did 2 maps ago when he was absolutely contending for that map victory. Got it away from Schweineaim Racing, but he needs to be able to do it again on their own map pick now.
That was clean from Wosal. Got the overtake on Ratchet, but Barbos managed to find his line and managed to find the speed out as well. Wosal's very wide here. I don't necessarily love it. I think it'll be this next jump he may struggle on, but he seems to have recovered fine, and he will be totally clean. Scandir will not be totally fine. Barbos will cruise to that win in the round instead. And it's a very difficult reset altogether. Wosal in second place. Scandir having to go a long, long way back. That will be Ratchet in third. And Schweineaim take a lead.
Oh my god. Schweineaim. Here it is. This is where it starts. It started with a draw. Then we've got the 2-1. You know what? The script is writing itself. It almost. I mean, look. Hey, I think actually the more exciting part of the script, obviously, would be for Alternate Attacks to break the curse of Slippy Slides and bring this one back, and then take it to map 7. Obviously, but Schweineaim Racing did so well just to capitalize off Scandir's mistake there.
Yeah, again, it's all about leaving yourself in that position, you know? I mean, you can't guarantee that your opponent will make a mistake, but if you're not matching them in pace throughout the rest of the map, leaving yourselves in a position where you can capitalize. If they do make a mistake, can win you maps, can win you rounds, and can ultimately win you matches. And it's worked out that time around for Schweineaim. It may not work this time around because, again, there is no guarantee that Scandir and Wosal from this position make the mistake that would allow Schweineaim back into this round. And so Barbos is still going to have to do a lot of pushing to try and catch.
Yeah, Ratchet not far behind either. We can't see him currently, but he is right behind Barbos here. Scandir goes a little bit wide on that first turn up there and allows them back up. You can see Ratchet for a second there. He went a little wide. Whoa! Into the pit goes Wosal. Scandir takes the lead, but only by a hair's breadth now. Barbos trying to catch up on the bug slide. Scandir goes very inside. He stays ahead by just a little bit more, but it's Barbos more inside. Scandir misses out on it by 34,000, giving Barbos the win there. Wosal manages to overtake Ratchet, who seems to have made a mistake here on the bug slides, and takes it to a draw, keeping Schweineaim ahead, but just about.
Oh, Ratchet with a big mistake, and still one of the most punishing respawns of any of the identities. You go so far back, especially if the mistake is on that second jump or that third jump, and Ratchet, he learns that to his detriment there as well. Barbos did such good work though. It was just pure pace in the identity. Fantastic lines to get that win that time around. Love to see that again, but it will be particularly difficult for Scandir to get back in. An early mistake has left him a second and a half behind the field. Yeah,
and we really have been kind of building up Scandir as a spearhead so far of Alternate Attacks. As they, well, I mean, especially when we were looking at Back and Forth, was absolutely the one leading the pack there. Wosal is now going to have to be the one that is going to keep them in this game and keep them ahead. As long as he can stay first, at the very least, you're going to stay within a stone's throw of Schweineaim Racing's map score at this point. But Barbos is keeping the pressure on, staying right behind. We saw how much pressure he put on Scandir last round. He goes a little wide there, allows his teammate up into second place.
Barbos goes so wide out of that turn, and when he gets
again, Wosal! What?
Oh no, never mind what I was saying. This is much more important because this should be the ace for Schweineaim Racing. Barring a bit of an issue, barring a slide out here, we will not see one. Ratchet will be sniped by Scandir on the line. There's an issue. It is a snipe by Scandir. Barbos will still hold on to the win.
Oh my God.
Damage limitation is key for Scandir there.
Oh, Oh my, this could be the second last map. It feels like a last map just in how, like, my heart rate. That's how it feels at the moment. But Schweineaim Racing still stay ahead. Scandir on damage management there, but at the same time, still, Schweineaim Racing with a 2-point lead. All they need now is a couple of points and they put themselves on match point.
This is kind of it. Ideally, there wouldn't be any damage that you have to manage. And WoStyle has unfortunately been causing a little bit of damage, flying into that hole twice in a row, 2 rounds in a row from winning positions is not really what you want to see. And, well, Scandir seems to be taking matters into his own hands. Had a lead for a little time there, but Ratchet came back with an awful lot of speed, and here comes Barbos into the lead instead. It is swapping hands every couple of seconds out there at the moment. And through this middle section as well, it could swap hands a couple more times yet.
Supremely close racing here already from all 4 players as we enter the section where WoStyle has had his dreams crushed so far. Please, because they find it. WoStyle, what? How? There's no way. 3 times in a row he falls into the hole. Scandir stays in first place, but Ratchet right behind now, putting on that pressure. Barbos luckily has fallen back into 4th place. An alternate attacks, it looks like, will take away 2 points from that round, but I cannot believe that WoStyle has, I'm sorry, but thrown away points every single round by going into that hole.
Yeah, and it just seems to be his line on the way out. He's just always that little bit too far to the right. Sometimes he jumps, sometimes he just falls into the hole. Either way, needs to clean it up, and he has been lucky that Scandir has really had some stellar previous rounds there, some snipes at the end. I want to call out that final bug slide of the last one. Scandir, that was, I think, as clean as I've ever seen anyone take it on this map. And single-handedly really keeping alternate attacks in this one. That does mean as well, if WoStyle can clean it up, this map is still very winnable.
It's such
for
a
alternate.
simple mistake to clean up. That's the thing. As long as he just goes a little further to the left, there's no problem whatsoever. Maybe you lose time by having a worse line, but at least you're not going to have to respawn by throwing yourself into a hole. That's all it takes here for alternate attacks to gain the lead. And somehow it hasn't been fixed over the course of 4 rounds.
Well, WoStyle won't have a chance to throw a lead away this time around. 7 seconds behind the rest of the drivers, and Scandir once again out to a lead. Will have to stay clean because an ace now ends this match and ends our night in favor of Schweineaim Racing. And Ratchet, he's going to do it for the identity. Barbos as well will overtake. Ratchet got a little bit of a clip there. Scandir back into first place. Ratchet chasing. Scandir cannot afford to slide out here. Barbos slides out instead. Ratchet overtakes Scandir and has Scandir stayed alive. Is he going to finish just behind? Yes, he is. 1/10 the difference. Barbos is chasing. Barbos is continuing to slide out. WoStyle should take the 3rd place. The score stays at a 1 gap.
It allows alternate attacks to win on this next round, though, as long as WoStyle just manages to clean things up. Alternate attacks can now win on this next round, but Schweineaim also able to win here. All they need is 1st and 3rd, or 1st and 2nd. All they need is that 1st place, and for one player to not come dead last. And so far, with WoStyle's performance, that doesn't seem like a massively high bar to cross. All they need to do is stay consistent here on this one. WoStyle, please clean this up for your teammates' sake. Scandir has been playing... I don't even know, like, the amount of bodyguarding this guy has been doing this map so far.
It's true, and we wouldn't be being kind of hard on WoStyle here if we didn't know that he's capable of doing it. He can make it through this cleanly. He can put up incredible times on any of these maps, and he just needs to do it here and now. But Ratchet has the lead, and a win for Schweineaim would still be the win on this match. But WoStyle is gaining. WoStyle is catching. He dodges one hole. Big. He's on the inside here. The exit is going to be a little bit slow, but the car wiggling gets back under control. Scandir is chasing Ratchet down at the moment, and Scandir will be left to the hole following Ratchet. No mistakes from Ratchet, and Barbos is a long way down the field. It's going to be fast from Scandir. He's gaining on Ratchet. He has more speed through this turn, but that allows Ratchet to go deep inside, and it is going to be Scandir falling behind Ratchet. Is WoStyle there as well? It is Barbos as WoStyle slid out completely in the background. WoStyle in 4th place, unfortunately, means Schweineaim Racing will pick up the win in the round, the win on the map, the win in the match, and alternate attacks will drop as Schweineaim Racing will take the victory over them.
Alternate attacks, a team that we set up as barely making any mistakes, especially outside of identities. have not looked the same team as they did last play day, but it is not alternate attacks mistakes that made that series what it was. It was Schweineaim's skill and their consistency through all of those maps, their speed. They were both on point there today.
And I mean, let's talk about what this means for the league overall as well, right? I mean, alternate attacks, still a very strong team. There's still 5 weeks remaining. But after week 2, Twiggy, we have a single undefeated team. Woo. And we have only one team that has lost both of their matches as well. 6 of our 8 teams sit at 1-1. We have both them, NuaLaoch at 2-0. BS Plus competition have unfortunately dropped to 0-2. Everyone else is 1-1.
Yeah, well, I mean, it technically could be closer if we tried, but it's this is absolutely insane. And the map difference as well, there's barely anybody who is not, you know, absolutely, who has had a bad performance both days so far. Everybody has managed to, at the very least, bounce back from maybe a 1-4 or something like that. So this is, look, this is going to shape up to be an absolutely brilliant season. We're only 2 play days in, and we've got a long way to go, but it looks like it's really going to be a good rest of the season now.
It is. And that's I kind of can't believe it myself. That's it for us here today. The Trackmania has been played, but that does not mean that there's not more Trackmania to be played in the future. Grand League starts tomorrow, same time, same place. Make sure you are back here for those matches. That's going to continue to be very exciting. And of course, there is more to see here on this channel tonight. The Trackmania 2022 Community Awards will be taking place shortly after we go off the air here, because it has been a long evening so far. They are warming up for that one. They are going to be coming at you live from the studio. It's going to be a lot of fun. You'll want to make sure you tune in to catch that one. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next week.